Korinn again with 365 Days of Open Heart Living, day number 43, Wrong Turns. I don't feel like I'm making wrong turns, but we never really do feel that we are, right? I mean, if we felt like we were making wrong turns in our life, then we probably wouldn't make those turns. We have to trust in ourselves. We have to trust in the turns that we make. When we come to decisions in life, and it's turn left, turn right, go straight, go in reverse, we have to trust that we're making the right decision. We can't be afraid of making wrong turns, right? We can't be afraid of them. And honestly, I feel like we shouldn't be afraid of making a wrong turn. I think there's this thing in life that, God is very clever, you know? He designed us and the world in his creativity, and he put his spark of being creators within us so that we can create our own ways, create our own lives, create how we are in the world. But I think sometimes that God is clever enough that he made it a little bit foolproof. Not to say we aren't going to have suffering or make turns that do feel wrong, but in God's cleverness of creation, I feel like whether we turn right or left, we get to where we are intended to be. Isn't it true that sometimes that which is a negative experience brings us to something we needed to learn? And that which is a positive experience can equally bring us to that also that we needed to learn. So sometimes it's not about making the right turn or the wrong turn. It's just about living, not being afraid of making wrong turns and just going for it. Trusting in yourself enough to act on the inspiration that you feel within yourself to move, to do, to speak, to create, to live. Your inspiration is intended to support you in living. And whether our inspirations later on in life, when we look back at 2020, what do they say? Hindsight is always 2020. So later in life, when we look back, when we're like, that was a wrong turn, I spent too much time in that, I spent too much time doing that, I spent too much time putting that effort in with that person, with that job, with that project, with that mental space in my life, I put too much time in. Well, the thing about wrong turns is they lead us to just as much insight as the right turns do. So when we look back at hindsight being 2020, has the lesson been learned? Did we learn? And the true golden nugget is in what we learned and what we can see now. Did it change us? Did it inspire us to live with a more open heart? Because that's the true path and journey that we are all moving in, to have a more open heart. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being connected to yourself, to your life, to those you love in your life, and to just trust. Trust in the fact that you are getting to where you need to be. Trust that where you are now has purpose in helping you to get to where you need to be. Trust that where you are now is a stepping stone and that you are on the right stone on that path that keeps leading you forward from your heart. no matter if it feels like you're in a season of having a wrong turn taken or a right turn. I wrote down a little bit of stuff, so I'm just going to grab that. And I want to read this example. And I kind of already talked on this too, but I like this example. You can get to where you're going by both that negative and that positive. You can get to where you personally need to be. An example is, say you have a bad relationship, and through having that bad relationship, you learn what love is not. And through that, you understand a little better what love truly is. That's one pathway to understanding what love is, through the negative. And a positive pathway to understanding what love is, through a positive, is in having a good relationship. Because through both the negative and the positive, through both the good and the bad, understanding can be received. Understanding can be made into wisdom of the heart, knowing more clearly what love is, what right and wrong is. And that is one of the gifts of functioning from an open heart. Because it becomes, the more I feel like a person can live with an open heart, the less you doubt yourself, the more trust you have in yourself, the more inspiration moves through you, the more conviction you have in making the decisions and taking the actions and moving forward in life. And it gets to that space where it really doesn't matter. Like when it's you talking about you, like we never want to do wrong by anybody else in our life. We never want to hurt or harm other people. But you gotta listen to your heart, okay? When you live with an open heart and you trust and you move by the inspiration that is you moving through your heart and your life, then everything is going to be okay. And whether you take the left turn or the right turn, you're going to get to where you're meant to be. For me right now, I trust that I am on the pathway to having love in my life again. And I question sometimes wrong turns or right turns, or what I should do in being on that path. Questioning ourselves is a very human thing. We have to embrace being human and just let ourselves function in the way that is human, but with open heart awareness. I know that I can question myself, but that's not gonna really be the deciding factor. Whether I choose to do something or not do something isn't really gonna stop what is meant to be from happening. I trust that the love I have with my husband will always be in my heart. And I know that I have more love to give to another gentleman. And I trust that at the right time, in the right place, in the right way, that spark will light in that person and myself, and there will be no stopping it. Because That's the truth of where I have been going to. I can feel it. It's like right now I feel a flame at my back and it's pushing me forward. And I can try to take my own direction, try to think too much about what should I do? Should I turn left? Should I turn right? Should I do this or that? Should I not do this or that? Like what should I do? But bottom line is, when we run ourselves crazy trying to figure out what to do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. Just keep moving forward. Take the action. Don't be afraid of the wrong turns, because you will always come to where you're meant to be, whether it's through the right pathway or the wrong pathway, because where you're meant to be is already a spot in your life that you're traveling towards, because it's meant to be, you know? It might take time, it might take effort, personal growth. It might take days of just conserving your energy and coming inward. And it might take days of opening yourself up and being out in the world and letting inspiration flow. But your day will come. In your heart, if you trust in a truth, then trust yourself and keep moving forward. Today we are going to do the inner smile, and we are going to further just have a chance to open the heart and flow of being engaged in life, so that we can be of courage and trust to not put so much emphasis on being afraid of taking the wrong turns. Because in the end, the turn that we take, the steps that we make, they're always going to be right. Because our clever God has designed things to be foolproof. And we as humans can be fools. I am definitely guilty of that. Go ahead and close your eyes. Taking a nice, deep, relaxing breath. And we're going to do the Chinese version of the inner smile again. Just bringing the corners of the lips gently upward. And then shifting our attention into the feeling sense at the heart and feeling what that feels like. That smile energy lifting our heart. Smile and feel. It is not necessary to strain to keep the smile on your face. Just let it be natural. Give yourself a chance to relax your mouth too and not be smiling constantly. Center on feeling your breath in between the times that you're smiling, and just relax into the practice. And then when you're ready again, smile and feel your heart. Feel what you feel and notice whatever it is at your heart that you are feeling. And repeat the cycle. Smile after you've relaxed your mouth a little, and smile to smile in your heart and feel what that feels like. Go through a few more cycles on your own now. Smile and feel. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Sometimes when I'm doing the inner smile, I have these little chunkies, I'll call them, these little, like, I don't know how to explain it. It feels like something moves inside of my chest physically, like clunk, like something kind of falls off of my heart. It's not my physical heart, because there's nothing that's gonna physically fall off of my heart, but it is the subtle body. It's the energy field of the heart. And that can get it congested with our bioelectrical flow of having stagnant energy stuck. And yeah, I'm guilty of having stagnant energy in my heart. Don't be fooled that I don't have junk. I have junk. And you probably have seen my junk, because I have some heavier meditations that I've led with, you know, sadness and whatnot. But I just had a chunky fall off. And I just want to bring that to attention, because maybe when you're doing, maybe it's something other people feel. So maybe when you're doing your inner smile practice, you're feeling things let go inside of you, in that layer that is the subtle body, that is energetic of the bioelectrical field, but is very real and is tangible to the point that you can feel the chunk falling off or shifting, the heart shift. Yeah, it's kind of fascinating. So I want to read this to you as well. What is meant for you will never miss you. It's never going to miss you. If it's meant for you, it's unstoppable. You're not going to miss it. It is not going to miss you. But also, what is not meant to be cannot stay. So sometimes those chunkies in life, they fall off because they can't stay. That's a parallel I was not expecting. The chunkies in life that we hold on to, that we don't know we're holding on to, the people that we don't know that we're holding on to, the situations, the things that we're holding on to that we don't really realize we're holding on to, that are not really meant to stay, those chunkies sometimes just need to fall off and have that shift. But what is meant for you will never miss you. So open your heart to live in the now and trust in any turn, wrong or right, doesn't matter. It's all the same. Don't fixate on if it's the right or the wrong thing. Just keep your foot steady on the gas pedal in life and keep moving forward. The road will always carry you to what is yours. I love that. We got to be okay to take the wrong turns. But we need to even more so be open to learning in the turns that we take. Because that is where the real fruit of life brings us to where we need to be. I want to share a personal intention that I have, and I don't know if I need to make some wrong turns or if I'm just going to be on the right turn to get there, but behind me on my bedroom wall, we used to have a marriage blessing, an Irish marriage blessing. And that fit for my husband and I, but he's no longer here. And so a couple months ago, I was reading this inspiring book, and it was encouraging the reader to take action in a way that helps to kind of open to inviting in what your heart is desiring. And my heart desires someone to share life with. And I searched online for a quote to put on a sign to replace the marriage blessing, because I'm no longer married, with something that would invite in that potential of just inviting the energy, the openness of, I want someone to share life with. I want two heads on the pillows when I go to bed at night, mine and my loved one. And I want to hold them close, and I want to feel loved, and I want to be able to pour all of my affection into the person that I love. And that is not where I am right now. I trust that's where I'm going. I hope that's where I'm going. And I'm okay making wrong turns and getting there. But I'm also invested in making the right turns. And the sign that was created behind me is an investment in making the right turn and getting to where I need to be. So like I said, I had done like a Google search to try to find a quote, and I didn't find one that felt right. So I allowed inspiration to move through me and decided I'm just going to write my own quote. And this is what I wrote. And this is what's above my bed. It says, love, I hope you can hear me. Love is when two souls recognize each other as home, finding their place of rest in each other's arms. Love is when two souls recognize each other as home, finding their place of rest in each other's arms. I have full intention of living life and trusting, and we'll just see if that prayer, if that intention gets filled. Hopefully, by the time I'm done recording 365 days of open heart living, it will have come to fruition. And I hope for you too, whatever is in your heart that you are desiring, when you get to 365 days of you taking action and opening your heart to living, that you have the thing that your heart desires actualized, and that you've maybe taken some wrong turns, but that you most certainly have been able to be on the right path to getting to your heart's desire. So live your heart, honey.